then we're going to do a happy camper wreath. Now, I got this sign a while ago. I think I got this from the Craig Bachman warehouse sale. So anytime I say Craig Bachman, that usually means that it's one of these RG ribbon or type products that you can get at places like Craft Outlet. So I believe you can get this sign at Craft Outlet. You can also check DecoExchange. Those are my top two for the signs and the wreaths, the ribbons. So we have this sign, and then I did manage to run across this when I was at the Craig Bachman warehouse sale, like I think it was last year. So I was like, oh my gosh, they go together. So I got this ribbon, which has different types of campers on there, but they're all cute. They're all kind of like it's got like a very 1950s vintage feel because of the aqua and the pink and the green. So it definitely has that retro vibe. But then I was at Target and I was in like they used to call it the dollar spot, but I guess it's like the 135 spot. And I found a camper. It's like, and I debated. I'm like, I don't know. How am I going to attach it? You know, I'll show you how I'm going to attach it later. You've got to watch first. But I thought this was really, really cute to go with that. So one of the other ribbons that I got, this is like obviously it's a tie-dye, but it really plays off of, it's got the blues, it's got the green, the pink. So that's kind of the other main ribbon we're going to use, as well as this one. This is white and aqua stripe. Again, this is because it's got a price written on there, so I know I got this from the Craig Bachman warehouse sale, but I've had this for a while, and I kind of put it with my 4th of July, but I realized, I mean, it does have the aqua, but I'm going to use it for this, I think. And then I have, if I decide to make a larger bow, I've got this as my 4-inch because I want to play up the pink. So I'm going to move some of this stuff off to the side right now because this is awfully big. Awfully big, awfully heavy. But then I will show you some of the florals we're going to be working with. Okay, so I have some other ones I can use, but mainly I like to use this white astilbe. This is from the At Home store, and this is $2.99 for the white. Now I did see another color I had grabbed that said it was $3.99, so I don't know if the prices are going up or if they've changed it based on the color, but I love this. This is my go-to all the time. And then this, I believe I got from Craft Outlet. They're just some white and pink daisies. Just really cute. I thought daisies to me do have a bit of a retro vibe as well, so that's why I thought this worked together with it quite nicely. Let me put florals. I don't know. I'm out of room. All right, I'll throw them over there. But let's talk the wreath, okay? Because a lot of times people just assume that you cannot use a Christmas wreath outside of Christmas, and oh, how wrong. This is an evergreen wreath. Now, this was the Ashland brand. This was from Michael's, and this is a 24-inch. But if you wait until after Christmas, they have mega, mega, mega sales on these. So that's where I got most of my evergreen wreaths that I stock up on, came from Michael's. And this is the 24-inch. Now, because I'm going to be putting like the camper on this, and this might be a bit of a heavier one, that's why I chose a double ring. Because otherwise, if it's just the single ring, which I do use, but the single ring, it can tend to like bow a little bit. The ring is not super, super sturdy. So that's what we're going to do. But also, I think once I get everything in here with the mesh, I'm going to squish it. So it's not going to be like a totally oval, but it's going to be oval-ish because I want this to be slightly longer and not as wide. So in order to get started with fluffing this out, I have already rolled over something. I've already pre-cut my mesh. Now I have two kinds of mesh that I grabbed. Come on, here we go. And now each piece is cut at 18 inches. So there we go. So I went with, we have the white border stripe. So this is 10-inch mesh, white border stripe, and then pink border stripe. And these are all cut at 18 inches a piece. And I cut the whole roll for both of them. So I believe it should be enough. Now this is kind of a large full wreath, but I think it's going to be enough to kind of fill this out. Sorry. Hey Jill, it's looking like rain. Oh, where are you at? Because it's kind of looking like it wants to rain here by Chicago too. It's like, ugh, I don't know. You know, like when the sky outside is almost like yellowish? That's kind of what it looks like. I think we're going to get some weather today here, I think. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take these little mesh pieces and we're going to curl them up and put them right in here. Now, these awesome green, the green, I don't know, branches, I guess I'll call them, you just twist it right in there. I've already pre-fluffed this. It's very important. Pre-fluff it, and be a fluffer, and make sure that it's, you know, that way if any like the little tiny pieces of this like might fall out or just like a little bit of shedding, you can get that out of the way and then have a nice clean surface to work on. So I'm going to start, I'll start with the white. So, there we go. All right, so you notice how it wants to curl up. If I want it to have more volume, I curl it and curl with the ends up. So I'm going to follow that. I'm going to curl each end in like about 3 times. And then I'm just going to scrunch it up. It makes like a little poofy. See that? A little poofy. And I'm just going to put that right inside the wreath. We're going to go right here. Just going to put it right in here. And then I'm going to do the same with the next one. Now I'm doing pink. I'm alternating my colors, pink and white. I mean, you could put as many different colors of mesh in here as you wanted to. This type of wreath is also great if you've got a lot of like different mesh scraps where like, oh, I have got a quarter of the roll left. And they all kind of coordinate, then this is a great project to use for that. Okay, I'm putting pink on the outside here. Trying to find a good spot. I want this to be full, but I don't necessarily need it to be jam-packed. You know what I'm saying? So you can see right now, I've kind of got like, this is kind of like an inside and this is kind of like an outside. So I'm going to kind of do that, but I want to alternate the colors. So I'm going to go now for a pink on the inside here. And I like to put my mesh in a little shoebox. Where's the end? Because it helps me not drop the mesh on the floor, which I do all the time. All right, so I'm going to pull my next one out. This isn't working. Hold on, let me go this way. Let me go this way. Maybe this will be better. All right, here we go. I just don't want the mesh to be falling on the floor, you know. Then I got to get up, walk over there, and then you see the back of my hair, and you can tell that I need my roots touched up, which I'm getting done on Wednesday. All right, I made another ruffle. Now I'm going to go on the inside here. There we go. And a lot of the green, you're not really going to notice once you get everything in the wreath. You're not really even going to see much of this evergreen, if any. It all depends how full you make it. But I mean, evergreens occur in nature, so I mean, there's nothing wrong with seeing a little bit of it poking through. Okay, next. I find on these wreaths that it seems like the outside is a little bit fuller with the tines than the inside one. Just trying to find a good spot to attach. There we go. Oops. So my acrylics are about to fall off. I haven't had these touched up. I had these done on April 16th. I'm a little behind. I'm going Wednesday morning to get those touched up. So hopefully I won't snag my fingers in the project at all, but you never know. All right, here we go. Now pink for the outside. All right. I love using the evergreen wreaths. I actually, the first time I saw this, it was Megan with Gal vs. Glue Gun was who I watched and learned this from, and she is a coach in the DecoExchange Creative Coaching. So if you are not in that group, you might want to take a look. If you're a wreath maker, the information is invaluable. The support of the community is beyond. I mean, it's such a wonderful supportive community. And I also learn a lot from the business coaching. A lot from the business coaching. Pinterest, Etsy, the whole kit and caboodle, right? All right, going through. This is looking fun. Check comments. Indiana. So Jill, you're basically my neighbor. Hello, we're gonna have the same weather. Yeah, it's not looking so great here, but we did have a cookout yesterday with my parents came over and I just threw some burgers on the grill. But I grilled in the rain, you know, because I may be sweet, but I don't melt. So I'm not afraid of the rain. So we were out there, just a little bit of grilling. They've helped me so much with all my landscaping and everything outside. I'm like, I've got to have them over to just sit and relax and not have to work. We did a lot of landscaping and bags of mulch, bags and bags and bags and bags of mulch. Ugh. And I tried to get them out of my van as quickly as possible because you know what mulch smells like, and then if it sits in your car, it just, ugh, yuck. But it looks good outside, so I guess that's all that matters. Okay, this is nice and fluffy. And I love pink too, so anytime I make a pink wreath, I'm always in a good mood. Love pink. And this sign and ribbon have been sitting in my thing next to each other for, I don't know, months and months, probably maybe even over a year, waiting to be used. So that's what I'm trying to do is before I jump into making my Halloween, I am trying to get all of my other little straggler projects that I kind of been putting off. I want to get those all done before I jump into Halloween, because once I jump in to Halloween, I am in. I'm going in the deep end of the pool. Here we go. Curling some more up. I am excited to start making Halloween. I've got a lot of Halloween already in my shop from last year, so I really want to get those moving so that I can make more, because I'm out of room in my house. I don't have any more room. Like, seriously. My son's room, because he lives at his dad's now, so he's all... He had the Star Wars room. I redid his room in a Star Wars theme for me, because I'm a Star Wars freak, and I've got all my little Star Wars memorabilia and stuff in that room, but now it's like a Star Wars themed storage room, because it's just nothing but racks and racks of wreaths. And tomato cage tree toppers. Tons of snowman heads. It looks like I went crazy at a Christmas fair and decapitated a bunch of Frosties up there, because there's all these heads. And, you know, and I keep the door closed, because when I walk past it sometimes and I see the heads, it's just a little freaky. Just a bag of heads, you know. Reminds me of the movie Seven, when Brad Pitt opens up the box and it's Gwyneth Paltrow's head in the box. Yeah. What's in the box? What's in the box? Snowman heads. Oh, all right, here we go. All right. This wants to be a little tricky here. Here we go. Getting them in there. And like sometimes too, if these tines are sticking out too much, I can just kind of push them behind the mesh too. And adds a little more support back there, because we're really not going to see that when we're done. So this is where we're kind of at so far. This is where we're going. Looking good, looking good. I'm going to fluff out the rest of these tines. Give myself a bit more room. There we go. Now it's opening up. All right. So now I'm debating what I'm going to have for Memorial Day. Maybe I'll go back to the store and get some more burgers. Or I think I might have some frozen ones in the freezer. They'll do. It's just me and Aria today, so. No big plans. No big plans. Not for camping. Though I think I'm going to help my daughter set up a little camping thing in the backyard one of these next coming weekends. We've got a tent, and I thought it'd be fun if she and her friend could sleep over in the tent in the backyard, because we've got a little fire pit thing. We could do s'mores and all that stuff, and then I could sleep out there on the couch, which is going to hurt my back, but you know. I'll do it for the kid. I'll do it for the kid. All right. Here we go. It's just nice with it's summer. Though I did have to pressure wash my patio. I was very upset because last year I spent like $400 on a really nice pressure washer from Menards that, like, I figured my dad and I could split it, you know, we timeshare all of our tools. You know, because like why both have it? We literally live like 20 minutes from each other. So we kind of share stuff like that. So I thought, oh, well then, you know, kind of as part of his Father's Day present, we got the pressure washer, right? And then at the end of the season, it didn't work anymore. It just kind of would like poop out on us, which I'm like, it was like less than like 3 months old. So I was a little upset about it. And I thought, well, maybe it just needed to sit over the winter. So it sat. And then I went to use it, and it sprayed for like 30 seconds, and I stopped. So not very happy with the Master Force Tool series over there from Menards. Menards is usually my go-to, but I might have to contact them about this is just not cool. But we'll see. But I borrowed the other pressure washer, the old one, and it took me about 4 times as long. But I got it done. And now it looks nice out there. I'm not really an outdoorsy girl, though I did spend my summers camping, like with my parents. They had a trailer. That's why I like this camper wreath, because we actually used to camp. We belonged to like a recreation club, so our camper was there year round. We had our own spot. We left it there all the time, and it was really fun. Made some really good friends along the way. That I'm still friends with, and my friend is going through a very hard time right now, and I'm just thinking about her a lot. So I'm thinking about the good old days a lot lately. The good old days. You know, when you're a kid and you have nothing to worry about, and it feels like everything in life is perfect, and I miss those days when it was just carefree, you know. Didn't have a mortgage, all that stuff. But we had we'd go boating, and I got to water ski, and I tell you, I had the blessed childhood. I really did. I hurt my back though. I herniated a disc though, knee boarding. So that's why I no longer like to do any kind of recreational activity, including exercise. I got hurt once. I'll never do it again. Oh, here we go. Now this white is not as stiff as the pink, and I don't know where I got both of them, but I think they both come from. I think they all come from Craig Bachman. So it's like what most vendors are able to buy. So, you know, it is what it is. But I buy my mesh from DecoExchange and also from Craft Outlet. The only mesh I will use that I can get at a local craft store is sometimes Joann Fabrics. Some of their mesh is okay, like their holiday kind of mesh. If I get it like on a clearance and stuff, then some of that's great. But I do like the poly jute mesh that comes from I think it's poly jute. Maybe it's just straight out jute. It comes from Hobby Lobby because it is nice and stiff. Now they did raise their prices on it, which is a bummer. But you can still kind of catch some in their clearance section. Might still have some. That's where I got a roll of black and beige for like $2.99, and I was like, yeah, baby. That was nice. Anytime you can find anything on clearance. But I tend to go overboard and buy way too much, which is why my garage is now just a giant warehouse. I gotta keep making. I gotta get my wreath kits listed. I'm gonna have. I bought a whole bunch of supplies at Craig Bachman, like a whole bunch, and I did wreath kits. So I've got the kit made. I've got it like everything put together. I just have to actually take the pictures and get it listed and whatnot. So some of the kit, like I don't think I'm gonna be doing videos for any of the kits because I've got a lot of videos already out there on my YouTube channel that show how to make like the thinner pancake style wreaths, which is what a lot of these kits are geared for. But you can always get a kit and then just add in some more mesh and some more ribbon and just kind of use the kit as a basis to make a larger wreath. But I'm also going to be doing just some ribbon and sign bundles and then just some Christmas ribbon bundles. I got some really nice 4-inch ribbon at a really good price, so I can pass that savings on to you. Sorry. Sound like a TV salesman, but it would be a good way to start exploring with 4-inch mesh, using something that's not super expensive. That way, you know, if if there's a little bit of waste or it didn't go quite right, you don't feel as bad. Because I used to be extremely intimidated by 4-inch ribbon, because I'm like, I don't want to mess it up. It costs a lot of money, and then it would just sit there staring at me, and I'm like, what's the point of having it if I'm not going to use it? And then now it's like 4-inch ribbon is like my best buddy. I love it. So be not afraid of the 4-inch mesh. Or 4-inch ribbon. Why do I keep calling it 4-inch mesh? Because I'm working on mesh. Here we go. And if you're watching this on a replay, feel free to fast forward to the end of this part, because I'm just rolling mesh into the wreath here. 1, 2, 3. Rolling it right in. My favorite part of making some of these is when I go to like when I go to squish it into its new shape. I just like that part for some reason. Alright. And I'm going to have plenty of mesh. And that when I'm done, I can go over and look and find if there's a couple spots where I feel like, yeah, it looks a little bare, let's throw in a little bit more. We can always do that too. There's no rhyme or reason to how I'm doing this. It's just kind of, if I feel it's thick enough, or if I want some more in there, then I'll put some more in there. All right. There we go. Get a white one. Now I'm working on the back. 1, 2, 3, roll it in. Oh, good. I was worried I didn't have my glue gun on, but I do. The only thing I'm going to use my glue gun for is for putting in the florals, which I've got some other florals I can use if I decide I wanna up the ante on the flowers. I can absolutely do that. I've got a bunch of different options waiting in the wings, but I want to see how much I get in here first. I want to make sure that the camper doesn't get buried by the florals. Here we go. I always thought those silver Airstreams campers were so cool. Those are awesome. I'm like, I could totally live in a small space like that, as long as I had a really, really huge warehouse in which to go work on my craft. I'm like, yeah, I could always downsize like that, but not without my supplies. Like, I would love to RV across the country. That was actually, I thought that was going to be my retirement with my husband. I thought we were going to end up doing that. But I don't think that that's something that I want to be doing on my own as I get older. Because there's a lot, like hooking stuff up and backing things up, and, you know, it just, I don't know, intimidates me a little bit. So that probably is not going to be my plan after all, but, you know, life throws stuff at you, and you just got to kind of go with it. Make the best out of the situation. But I always thought it would have been fun to just travel around the country and, you know, go RVing. Visit the national parks. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's why I like on Instagram, I like to follow a lot of vloggers and stuff, or vloggers, I guess, if they do the video blogs, vlogging. It's fun to see where everybody else goes. Like, there are some places that I would not want to go to just because, yeah, didn't work for me. But it's nice to see other people. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. This is how it is, and this is how thick it is. So right now we're probably looking at something that is, it's about 6 inches tall. 6 inches deep. I'm going to look around. Let me flip this around. Okay, I see a spot where I would like to add in some mesh. Just one. I'm going to grab a white just because that's where it is. I'm actually probably going to move one of these over. Here. That's why it's always good to keep a couple extra ruffles on hand, just in case you find a couple spots where you're like, hey, I think I want to do that. So then I'm going to take this other white one, move it over. Then I can add a pink one in there, and that way I still have my white, pink, white, pink. Because I am OCD. Like, things like that bother me greatly. If it's not like symmetrical or even. And I have to get away from doing that when I'm making wreaths sometimes and I'm trying to put in like florals or whatnot. I don't want to do the, okay, well I had one here on the left, I have to have one here on the right. Because then it looks like too symmetrical, and that's not natural. So that is something that I do struggle with when I'm putting in like florals and ribbon tails. So I'm actively working on that. All right, there we go. All right, looking good. I'm gonna put the mesh over to the side. All right, double check this. Hello, hello. Everything. Eek, I can't get the comments to pop up. What am I doing? Swipe left. There we go. Debbie, hello. A to Z Crafts. Oh, from Connecticut. Maria, thanks for joining. I hope you guys are having a good Memorial Day weekend. All right, so here's our wreath. Now, as I said before, I'm going to squish this. So I'm going to stand up and use my considerable body weight. And I'm just going to kind of push down. Just kind of push. And it gives, right? So right now it's kind of, right now it's like that. So it's ovally. It's ovally. There. That's what I wanted. Just, it's not super, super oval, but just enough, you know, just enough. All right. So what I want to do is, I'm debating what I'm going to do first. If I'm going to put in some ribbon tails, or if I'm going to put on the sign and all the other stuff around it. I think I'm going to put on the sign, just to kind of give me a good starting spot for everything else. So I'm cutting off the rope. Yeah, not a big deal. You don't need to see that part. I just cut off the rope. Okay. All right. So I have my sign. Now, what I do have is my staple gun. Now you can use cable tie mounts on here. I just like to use staples. And I'm gonna grab some white pipe cleaners. Here we go. Now, because this wreath is extra thick, right? So if I just staple this on here, I'm only working with that much room. I want to have more than that, so I'm going to double these up. I'm going to make 2 of them, and I'm going to double them up, because I don't want to have to struggle and fight with trying to find the ends and then pulling it too tight. So I'm going to cut, you know, a lot of that off, but to me it's just easier not to have the hassle. So, and I'm also going to get the price tag off the back of the sign. Here we go. There we go. Come on. Come on. Okay, I have a scraper tool. Let me find my scraper tool. I did. Where'd it go? Oh, I'm flinging zip ties all over the place. I'm making a mess, guys. It's crazy over here. What am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, I can't find my black scraper tool. All right, well, I guess I'm just going to have to try to scrape it off a little bit. I just don't want a price tag to be on the back of the sign. And normally when you buy things from like Craft Outlet, it doesn't come on there. This, because I got this at Craig Bachman. It was a warehouse sale. Well, okay, guess what? It's staying. It's gonna stay. All right. So now I've got. Let me finish this. I've got my 2 pieces of, well, I guess 4 technically. Got my chenille stems. Now, because my staples are 5/16, if I just staple this right through, it's going to come through the front of the sign. So what I have to do is cut some squares. So this is the cardboard tube from Mesh. So I save my cardboard tubes and I cut them up and I use them for this. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Now, I'm going to show you kind of my vision for how I want the sign to be. So if this is going to be oval, I want it to kind of be up here, but on a bit of an angle. You see that? It's just slightly angled. So that means I'm going to put staples here and here. So down there, show you, down there, and down here. I double them up. And if you have a staple gun that has smaller staples that can support that, great. Mine does not. But this always works out well for me. So I'm just going to push it down. I'm going to go staple, staple, staple. Nothing came through. I'm going to do this on this bottom end too. Staple, staple, staple. Yay. Ooh, I always feel so powerful when I do that. All right, I'm bringing this back around. I think I'm going to start bringing in my laptop and leaving it up here so that I can actually see comments all the time. Because I keep having to touch the screen and go back to see comments and swipe, and it's just such a pain. I hate that. Janice from Florida. Hey. We love Florida. My in-laws are down there in Trinity, right by Tampa. We're going to see them at the end of July. All right, so I'm going to put this, because I'm going to have a bow here and then the camper down there. So I like to push it down just a little bit to get a good feel for where it's going to go. So now I'm going to put this pipe cleaner through on either side of the ring. Now I'm not going to poke it through the mesh ruffles. I'm just going to find the natural spot where it wants to go by itself. All right. I'm going to give it a twist. I'm probably going to have to tighten them up again. So right now I'm just giving it what I call a temporary twist. Just to kind of hold it on there until I get the other one on there. And then I can really tighten it all the way. Okay. Try to figure out where's the best spot. There we go. Yeah, there we go. All right, I'm going to give it a good twist. Make sure that's on there good. All right. I'm going to just leave that. When I'm done with the wreath and I know nothing's moving, then I'll snip it off and I'll move it. I think I'm going to move this over a little bit, because I don't want it to be poking out too much. It's on a bit too much of an angle right now. There. I just had to move it over just a hair, just a tad, a skosh, if you will. All right. Ah, my hand is stuck. All right. See, this is why I made the things really long, so I had lots of room that I could play with on here. There we go. All right. Hold on. No, you move. Stop. There, that's how I want it. Here. Now I found the right ruffles to move it through. All right. Sorry, I know that took a little while. Took a little longer than anticipated. That's okay. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. Might take a little extra time. All right. I'm tightening this down. 1, 2, 3. All right. I think we're good. I'm actually gonna snip this the back, and then I just kind of tuck it under. Tuck it back into the wreath. That way it's not sticking out. It's not gonna poke anything. We don't want to poke anybody's door. Try to keep it as soft and calm on the back as we can. All right, here we go. Dude, this ribbon just really wants to get on the wreath, doesn't it? Oh my gosh. All right. Ick. There we go. All right, so we got that. Now, I think the next thing we're gonna do is let's make a bow. I want to make the bow because then that tells me how much I have left over for ribbon tails. So, because I can tuck those in afterwards and I'll put the camper on. So I'm going to move this to the side. And I'm going to bring on my favorite thing, my ribbon tail board. This is by Hot Mesh Mom. So this is a board you wrap your ribbon around and then you can cut it, and it's a very fast, easy way to measure your ribbon. You can get this at shophotmeshmom.com. And I love this. So, let's put that aside actually. So we're gonna do. Dum 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 dum! Here it comes, the easy bow maker, bow maker, bow maker. Yeah. So this is my favorite tool. I have a very hard time making bows by hand because my left hand doesn't work so great on the end. So it's hard for me to hold on to it. So I love using this because if I'm halfway through making a bow and I got to go to the bathroom or the door rings, the dog needs something, I can just leave it and it's good. So we're going to use that. There is a link to this in my bio, has a link tree, and there is a link to the Easy Bows website in there. It's an affiliate link. All right, so we're going to start off. Let me put my different possibilities over here. We're going to start off with this. I don't know what kind of, it's like a gingham print, right? And this is huge, huge. But I like the pink. I do some baby shower wreaths, or like, you know, it's a girl wreath, so this is perfect. So I'm going to start, I always start by dovetailing it. So what dovetailing means is you take your ribbon, there's a wired edge on top and a wired edge on bottom. Always, always use wired edge ribbons. Don't mess with anything that's not, because it won't end up looking like you want it to. So I bend these two wired edges together, so it's kind of like folded in half. And I cut from the inside, angled outward toward the wires. I snip, and then you have a very nice, pretty dovetailed edge. It looks like the tail of a dove, hence dovetail. Yeah. Shocking, right? So for this one, I'm gonna have a tail come out. Now I'm not gonna make this super wide bow. I just want one long tail of this coming down. So we're gonna end up making this tail. This probably looks like 12. Let's go. Probably about 14 inches. I probably will end up trimming it, but that's it. But I'm pinching. I'm gonna do a little pinch it and twist it, right? So it's gonna go like that. So this is the pretty side up, and this is the back side of the ribbon, okay? Now, I'm going to pull this tail down. I'm going to start making this ribbon as if I'm looking at this bow right now. So I'm making the loops and putting them where I want them to be. So we're going to make this one, maybe it's 7 inches. So push it down in there, and then I'm kind of like, this is a little thicker, so I might have to bring it up, but I pinch and twist. All right, so that's what it looks like, pinched and twisted. Goes right down here. All right, then I'm gonna make this also 7-inch loop on this side, okay? And then this one's gonna come up. All right, so this is, I'm cutting this off at 8 inches, but I'm gonna dovetail it. So I'm going to cut a little bit of the height off of that, okay? And that's going to go like that. And I'll show you what it looks like. It kind of resembles a cross. Let me put this down. Yeah. Yeah, that can go over there. All right. So this is what our first layer looks like. Okay? You can see that this kind of is, they're little at angles, right? So the top of that tail is coming up at like 10 o'clock. The loop is like at an 8 o'clock, and then this other loop here is at like a 2. And then the other tail kind of comes down at like a 4 o'clock angle. So if you look at it that way, look at the angles on it. So we're going to build off of that. So our next layer now is going to be, we're going to go with this navy, not navy, aqua and white. I'm so excited to finally use this. I've had it forever. It's so nice to use this now. All right, I'm going to bend this. Here we go. Dovetail. All right, now this time, my tail was over on this side last time, so I'm going to start with my tail on this side this time. And I'm going to end my tail about an inch above where the other one is. So if that was 14, this is probably about a 13-inch tail. Okay? And now these were 7-inch loops. So I want this to be at like 6.5. Pinch and twist. All right. And then 6.5. Pinch and twist. And then cut this off at like 7.5. Once I dovetail, this should have been at 7. Now the top ones, if they end up being too long, I can always trim them, but I want it to kind of cascade a little bit backward over the top of the wreath. That's why I'm making it a little bit longer. And I can always change it. Okay. This is pretty. I like this. This makes me feel, this feels beachy. For some reason, it feels beachy to me. Life's a beach. All right, now I'm going to go in with my little tie-dye. Kind of do the similar thing I was doing before. There we go. It's going to come down. Now this particular ribbon is not super stiff, so I'm hoping that these loops don't get too floppy. All right. So that comes in at 6. All right, and this is 6. Okay. And I'm layering my loops, so I don't want to cover anything that's already there. Okay, so I'm making sure every loop needs to have its chance to shine and be able to be visible. All right, now to the exciting part. I get to finally use this RV ribbon. It's got really cute sayings on there, like, what does it say? RV there yet? Happy campers, camper sweet camper. That's cute. I like that. All right. Now, this is directional ribbon, so I got to be careful because I don't want any of this to end up upside down. So it's going to take a little extra care. So I'm going to start this tail over on my left side. It'll look like you're right. There we go. Okay. So now, this is going to be probably like a 5.5-inch loop. 5.5 inch. Okay. I'm going to make it a little bit longer. I'll tell you why. This loop currently is upside down. It looks the correct way to you because you're on the opposite side. To me, it's upside down. So I'm going to take that whole loop and twist it. I just pinched and twisted, and now to my eyes this is facing the correct way. Now I can take this one, go over and make 5.5 inch. All right, and then that comes up. All right. Perfect. Nobody is upside down. We are good on that. All right, and then now that does it for my 2.5 inch layers, but now I want to add in some 1.5 inch. So for that, I decided to go with a solid pink. Take my pen off. Oops. All right. Again, same thing, just dovetailing the end before I start, because I'm weird. I'm just always afraid I'm not going to remember to dovetail and I'll find something like later and it's too late. All right. So this tail ends up being probably about, I don't know, like 11 inches. But I might end up like giving it a haircut. All right. So now we're going to pinch and twist. Now this last loop was 5.5 inches, but because this is 1.5, I don't want to have this be too far out. So I'm going to pull this in a little bit. So this one's going to be like 4.5. There we go. Looking good. Okay, and then that's the only 1.5 inch I'm using, because now I'm going to move to 7/8, because I didn't want to cover up a lot of the RV ribbon, right? So I'm putting a couple layers on, but it's going to be a little bit smaller. The more I'm looking at this blue, it does go with the blue in the camper. It doesn't, I mean, it's complementary to that, so I could go with blue, but I think I'm actually going to go with white. This is my last layer. So this is white. This is 7/8. And again, I got this, you get this DecoExchange craft outlet. All right, so this one's coming in, the last layer. Now, this 7/8, I will just cut on an angle. If I dovetail, here, let's do a dovetail, show what it looks like. It ends up to me looking like snake fangs. So that's why on this one, I like to cut that one just on an angle. I went the wrong way on the angle. Let me go the other way. Here we go. All right. Putting that one in. Okay, and then I think this is going to be, we'll do this at like 3.5. All right. All right, and then I'll cut this again on an angle. Perfect. All right. So now that I'm done with that, I'm going to take 2 of my pipe cleaners. I'm going to make one long one out of it just by twisting them together. Because again, I don't want to have to fight getting it through the wreath. And this is going to end up going on the back. But I'm going to grab, because I need a thicker zip tie, because this has 4-inch ribbon on it. So what I'm going to do is I put my fingers underneath just to get my hand underneath. Now I have to press down on the top, okay? I'm squishing it together as I pull it up like a giant BLT sandwich. I don't want any of the layers falling out. I know I always say that, but it's true. See, it's all squished. I'm just going to put that zip tie right between the fingers, slip it under my thumb just slightly. There we go. Now moving that part to the back. All right, it looks good to me. Before I super tighten, I want to take a look at where my loops are. I mean, I can still adjust them once I really tighten it, but I want to make sure nothing looks really out of whack where I'm going to have to struggle to get it moved. But I think that looks pretty good. All right, and I'm going to tighten it. There we go. All right, I'm going to cut that off. Now I twist this, and I have a really pretty bow. Look at that. Look at that. Here we go. Here we go. With our loops. And this one I want to kind of come up as high as I can. There. We've got that. Got that loop. There we go. right, now, importantly, run your fingers down all the wires of all the tails and the top ones too. That makes it, give it a nice curl. There we go. They call it working the wire. So we want to really work the wire here. Even the ones that come out on the top. It just helps it have a nice natural shape to it. Okay, so here's the bow. Okay, so now let me clean up some of this stuff before I bring the wreath back up here, because we'll put on the bow and then we'll start cutting the tails to put throughout. All right, finished with that one. Probably not going to use any more of the 1.5. Well, I might. I'll keep it handy, but most of my tails are usually, they're usually the 2.5 inch, unless it is a particularly cute pattern of 1.5, and then I'll use it. Ooh, oh, I don't like that sound. Yuck. All right, this is going over the side. Okay, hold on. Drink break. It's water, not wine. I don't really drink wine. The only wine I like is a Moscato d'Asti. Other than that, I'm a hard liquor gal. All right, so here's our wreath. And we're gonna put this bow kind of over here. I'm going to put it down enough where it's not going to cover the H in happy. And then our camper is going to go down here. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. So I'm going to feed this through where I think it best belongs. All right. But it's still, I don't want to cover the camper, so hold on, let me figure this out. I think I'm going to move it over a little bit. Going a little bit over this way, guys. Moving it over a bit. Alright, let's see, because I don't want it... Oh, that's way too low. What are you doing? What are you doing, woman? I think I just need to move it up more toward up in the outside. That might be best. See if I do that. There we go. I like that. But I gotta make sure it's not going too far to the outside. So let's see. I'm gonna face it back toward me now just because I want to see. Stop snagging, man. Right. I think I like that. Let me take a look. There we go. So that's where that is at for now. So now we are going to put the camper at the bottom, but I think I want to put the ribbon tails in first, especially before I try to add in the camper. So let me tuck in my there we go. All right, perfect. So now I'm going to cut some ribbon tails. Sometimes I can do cascades with ribbon, but I think this one, I think I just strictly want to do some ribbon tails so it doesn't get too, we don't need it to be too fancy, right? All right. So, I'm going to move that off to the side, and then I'm going to sit and cut my ribbon tails. So now, these are all, I usually cut all my ribbon tails to 14 inches, and that's what I'm going to do here. So I basically have, I can use the rest of these rolls. I'm not doing any more cascades or anything. It's all just going to be ribbon tails. So let me start with, I think, how many do I need? Probably 12. So how I do this is, I got my ribbon tail board, again, Hot Mesh Mom, ribbon tail board, so it's 14 inches. I put my finger here, okay? Now, I'm just gonna wrap it around and come back up. So one, that makes 2 ribbon tails, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. Now I slid that out so you can see I got, you can see, hello. I just put the scissors right through the end, cut, same on the other side, cut, there we go. So now I have 2 stacks of 6 ribbons each. This is getting to be like math. Oh, scared, guys. All right, and I bend it all over, and I dovetail the whole stack. If this is like a thicker ribbon, you might have to make like 2 stacks out of it, but I think I can get away with dovetailing this whole thing in one handful. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. All right, do this other stack. Ugh. All right. There we go. Ow! Ooh. Ow. Yeah, I'm okay. I just impaled myself with the wire from a ribbon. Ooh, teeny tiny little pinhole. But no blood. I just want to make sure I wasn't going to bleed on the wreath. I don't care what happens to me, but save the ribbons. Ow. I know I'm being overdramatic. Sorry. Got my little critiquer over there. My critic. All right, and I think I'm going to do, I do 12 of these. I don't think I really need to add in. I think I'm just going to stick with these 2 types of ribbon for the tails. So I don't think I need this, but I'm going to put it back here because I can always pull it out if I need to. All right, let's do 12 of these babies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I do have enough left over that I can either cut more tails, or what I do when I've got like that much left is I make a bow out of it and I list the bow for sale too. Because then people may want to have, you know, they may want to put it on a lantern or somewhere else to accent it, but like I can't make a whole other wreath out of that, so I might as well make a bow. And if I make the bow now, while I've got all this stuff out, then that frees up a spool, and then I don't have to store it. All right, here we go. I dovetail this. Now this is a little bit thicker. We'll see how this goes. Ooh, that is thicker. 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 Make sure I get that nice clean edge. Okay. There we go. Nice. Do the same thing again. And then we'll be ready to start sticking these in there. And then we get to do the florals. That's the fun part too. But I'm most excited to put on the camper and show you how I'm going to put that on there. Yeah. A couple years ago I would have done it a different way. So I'll tell you how I would have done it and how I'm doing it now. And the camper is very light though. It looks, I mean, it's substantial, but it's actually pretty light. Ugh. There we go. There we go. All right. Happy campers. All right. Get rid of my little extra tails here. Please don't stab me again. That's smarts, man. And I don't know why they say it's smarts, because if you were smart, you wouldn't have hurt yourself to begin with. So, I don't know. I don't know. All right. So now what I do, when I have these tails here, oops, come on. Oh, that's where that spool of ribbon went. Oh, the things you find. All right, so I've got two different ribbons, okay? I'm going to put, this is my bottom, and this is my top one. Whichever one has the more intricate pattern or the design that you want to focus needs to be on top. And then I just fold them in half. Okay, make a crease, right? So that's my crease point. I want to gather it up on that crease point. And then I'm going to open up a set of tines, or a set of, you know, mainly probably where I'd already twisted in some mesh. Open it up, set that in there, twist it in there. So now it is secured. Twist it a couple times. And then I want to separate these out. So I will go. Typically my bottom one comes up and the top one goes down, but they want to be opposites. It's hard to do facing you guys, I apologize. But it ends up like that. So I'm going to do that all the way around. There we go, just wherever I think we need it. So I want to have one, you know, in here probably. I am probably definitely going to need to cut more ribbon tails, but that's okay. That's all right. I've got it to do. So boom, boom, fold. All right, and I'm just gonna put that right in there where I'd already opened it up. Twist it in there. Give it a good twist. Make sure, give it a tug on the ribbon to make sure it's not gonna pull or slide out. Okay. Because you definitely don't want that happening. All right. Got one in there. Little luxuries. Hey, how's it going? What are you up to on this holiday weekend? You got any special plans? Other than, I'm sure, like most of us wreath makers are like, yay, a free day off, we can wreath make. Unless we're hosting a picnic, which I am not. I was going to, and then my energy was like, nah. All right. Put another set in here. So I've cut 12 sets of these ribbon tails, and I think I'm probably going to need more. But like some of these, I'm trying to, like, I can push the little branches back so that they're not quite as visible. Kind of push it behind the mesh. It's okay to see a little bit of greenery. I just don't want it to be like, oh, you can see it in every single set that I'm doing. All right, kind of moving around here, down around the bottom here. Here we go. I'm sorry you can't see the angle that I'm working at doing it this way. Facebook seems to like my face on camera better than just my hands, because then sometimes it'll think that I'm not there and it'll actually stop the live. That happens to me a lot over on the tiki-taki, which annoys me because I'm like literally in the middle of explaining something, even with my face on there, and it just like logs me out due to inactivity. I'm like, I am not being inactive. It's like it's calling me lazy, and I take offense at it. I am not being inactive. I am not throwing away my shot. No, I am not going to rap Hamilton. I'm sorry. I mean, if I knew it better, I would. I tried to do that on karaoke with my daughter. We were just playing around one night. Hey, Aria, we should do karaoke tonight. And I know the lyrics, but when I had to go sing it, I massacred that song. It was terrible. Oh, and Manuel would be ashamed of the effort that I put forth. I tried. All right, here we go. Oh, this is gonna be so cute. This is just perfect for summer. I just love summery kind of wreaths. All right. Put another set right in here. It's funny to think I have to start working on Halloween. I go, in July, I go to Coach Mel and Tammy's Halloween event that I am so psyched about. Get to meet up with my fellow wreath makers in Michigan, so it's close enough that I can drive, which is fantastic. Can drop my kid off, you know, to be watched on my way somewhere, and there we go. There we go. Alrighty. Now some over here on this side. This is cute. Like I said before, sometimes I will do like cascades of ribbon where it makes like these little loops and stuff over the top of, like, on my larger wreaths, I'll do that. But for some reason I didn't want to do that with this one, because I thought that would make it a little too fancy, and if this is camping, we don't need it to be super fancy. But I just love the vintage type feel that this wreath has. With the pink and the aqua. It was a time of such style, you know? We don't have that style anymore. Now everybody likes to decorate a lot of their homes in like beige. I swore when I was older my house was going to be totally colorful and we're going to have color all over the place, and everything in my house is beige. But I accent with color, so, you know, try to keep it neutral in that way. The color can kind of be the pops of color that can come in and out, you know, with the seasons and whatnot. Because I love to decorate for Halloween and for Christmas. Like, that's my jam, man. That's my jam. So it always goes nice against like a more of a beige neutral backdrop. There we go. Alright, now I do want to add another one kind of up here, but I got to kind of lift the sign, I think, to feel where am I at? Okay. I think actually right here will be a good one. Right here. Perfect. I see the tines I can put it in. Awesome. Yeah, I'll have to cut a few more, I think, of these, but not too many. I'd rather undercut and then have to cut a little bit more than to overcut, and then what am I stuck with? However, you can use the extra ribbon tails. You can use those in a bow too. It doesn't have to be one of those big long bows, but you can just put that in there in a bow. You know, it doesn't have to be enough to make a loop. Just have a tail, and it works. Got another set right here. It's coming down to it. We're almost going to put in the florals. Again, not too flower heavy on this. Just enough where it's got, you know, some touches. And the greenery, the white astilbe, I love that. That is my favorite. That is my absolute favorite. Because it's inexpensive. I wanted to say it's cheap, but I mean, it doesn't look cheap to me anyway. I like it. But it's not a high-cost item, but it adds a lot of fluff. I like them in arrangements, too. It really holds up. All right. Okay, I got one set left after this. Then I'll probably end up cutting one more, at least, because I want to put a little bit more in there, I think. I'm not sure. Yep, okay, here we go with this. Flip it in. I just realized why I'm so hungry. It's because I never ate anything. I'm hungry. I might have to go out and get some more burgers, guys. I'm kind of feeling the burger thing again. Make that a little bit more even. There we go. There we go. Sometimes I like to make sure my tails are even, so I'll like, when I put them in there, I'll like bend them against each other, kind of like sandwich them back up to make sure that they look within reason. They're not going to be exact, you know, but sometimes I got to make a little bit of an adjustment. All right, and then this one's going to go along the side. All right. Perfect, perfect. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. All right. Just felt like it needed like one more right up here, so I'm gonna cut, I think, just one more set. I was off by one, which isn't bad, you know. All right, so I'm just gonna, I'm not even gonna wrap it around. I'm just gonna kind of compare it to the board. Boom, cut one. Because if anybody can cut one, it's me. Ha ha. Sorry. I'm not above fart jokes, guys. If you can't laugh at a good fart joke, then I'm not your gal. All right, here we go. But I can fold these together. Here's a cheater's way of just doing one cut. I fold them together, right? And then I fold them in half, make one cut, and boom, got both my tails done. Nice. All right. Put this one in up at the top here. Of course I can't find any tines. Of course I can't find any little pieces. Ugh. Okay, maybe I should have put my little things in before I did the side. Well, I got them in. They're in. They're in. All right. And then spread them around town. All right. Make sure that gets underneath there. All right. So here we are with the ribbon tails are in. This is how thick we're going right now. There we go. I'll fluff it better. So now, this is how it's gonna go. All right, let me make sure. Oops, hold on. All right. It's gonna go down here. But how on earth are we gonna get that on there? Well, let me show you. I used E6000 craft glue, and I used the cable mount squares you can get at DecoExchange sells them. You can also get them at your local hardware store. But I glued it on here. Hey, Aria. Aria wants to come say hi. Come on, say hi. Say hi. That's delayed. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay. Bye. That was quick. So these cable mounts, what I did is I peeled off, you know, you peel off the sticker. I put E6000 craft glue right on that adhesive part of the foam, and then I put them down here. And then I took hot glue and went around it to add another extra level of security. So I really laid on the glue there. And this has been curing for about 3 days. So that is on there really good. It's not going to come off, but I can take my pipe cleaners then and put them through here. And that's how we're going to attach it into the wreath. So I need to get some pipe cleaners right now. I'm going to get 4 because I'm going to do what I've done before, and I am making 2 long ones out of some shorter ones. So I'm wrapping that together. And I'm also going to leverage the bottom of the ring, like you can feel the ring, so this can kind of sit on that as well, and that's going to give it some extra support too. So I'm lucky that that's kind of where I'm going to be placing the camper, and it will be supported. This is going to be fun. I've been waiting for this part. I just couldn't believe it. I walked into Target. I'm like, it's a camper. I have a camper sign. I got to get it. All right. So I'm going to bring these through. Now, it's going to be a little tricky. I got to make sure to go a little slower when I get to the part where it's wrapped together. And if it doesn't get all the way in, then that's fine. It doesn't really matter. All right. And then I'm going to just twist it. All right. There we go. Do the same thing. It looks like it's got some antennas. It looks like a little bug now. That's so cute. Come on. I don't want to pull too hard because I also don't want to end up popping these things off, but I don't think they're going to come off. They're on there. They're solid. All right, and then just do a twist. All right. Now I'm going to face it toward me. I have to do this with it facing me. I'm going to feel for where that, I'm going to actually make a little spot. You know what? I'm actually going to move this set of ribbon tails over just a little bit. So they don't get in the way of the camper. I'm going to move them over just a little bit. There we go. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to really feel in here for where that's going to be. And I'm going to pull these up and these down. There we go. Then that'll fill that gap because I can feel where it's going to go. I'm just going to wrap the pipe cleaner. Now remember, this is a double ring, and I'm going to wrap it just around the top ring and see how that goes for now. Huh. I have an idea. Oh my gosh. It lights up. How did I not know this thing lights up? Okay. I don't have the batteries now, but apparently the camper lights up. Holy cow, how did I not know that? Isn't that awesome? Oh, I can't wait to see what that would look like. Oh, how cute. How adorable. Maybe I should run it through the bottom rung. I think I should. I'm going to wrap that through there. Sorry, I'm just making sure I can get the pipe cleaner through here. I'm going to wrap this one. Instead of just being around the top rung, I'm going to wrap it around the top and the bottom. Just a slight change. I want to make sure this is totally, totally, totally secure. right. Bring that around and through. Over the river and through the woods. Onto the wreath we go. How did I not know that that lights up? Well, oh, it's got a little, hold on. Hold on. I'm going to cut this off. It's got a little pull tab, so it actually has the battery in there, I think. But I can't pull it because my nails are too long. So let me grab something and I can try to get that off. So let's... Okay, give me a second. Yeah, I need this to be tighter. I'm just twisting the pipe cleaners with my hands, taking up any slack that there might be. I will clean that in the back of it up later. But let me try to pull this out right now. Okay, I need something with grippy. Here we go. Yay! Let's see if it works. Oh my gosh, it works. I don't know if you can see it, but it's lit up. It's lit in there. Guys, we're going to get lit. If you can see a little better. But oh my gosh. It lights up. Holy cow. Amazing. I'm going to try to fill this in. Okay, some of the green I'm going to push underneath. Make sure I pull my mesh forward. All right. Wow. Oh, that's so cute. So cute. So cute. All right. What I'm going to do now is stand it up on my wreath stand because I want to be able to see everything when I go to put in the greenery. Pull up some of this mesh too. Here we go. Sorry. I know you're looking at the back of this going, I can't see anything, lady. I know. Give me a minute. Give me just a second. All right. I'm going to bring you guys over here. All right, you're going for a ride, so hold on. Going for a ride. Going for a ride. Knocking into stuff. That's okay. I want you guys to be able to see how the greenery is going in here. Here we go. I'm going to tilt you guys up a little bit. Sorry if you're getting motion sick. I'm sorry. I apologize. All right, now you guys can see a little bit better where we're at. We got the ribbon tails down here. This helps me out too. It's a little bit easier for me to maneuver. I'm going to try to tuck some of this green back under here. Just needs a little tucking. I guess this makes me a mother tucker. Sorry, bad joke. Bad joke. All right. I already know I want to put some florals in here to kind of help fill in some of this, but I'm going to pull down, see I can pull that mesh in. I'm not going to see that. I can wrap this backwards here so we don't see that either. pink. There. Looking better already. All right. And it's on there. It's on there. And again, this is wired on. There's not glue. I'm not gluing it because I just don't know how well that would hold up with something so heavy. And then they can still get to that light switch to turn it on and off very easily. There we go. Definitely not one that you're going to, this is not going to fit between a storm door, I'll tell you that. Definitely not. But, here we go. All right, so I think we're going to start with putting in these little bits of white. And I'm going to start by taking the price tags off again. So this is white astilbe. It came from the at-home store. One of my favorite places to get florals inexpensively. I mean, are they like super, super awesome, nice quality? I mean, they're good, but like, you know, Hobby Lobby, if you want the super good quality, or, you know, from an online retailer as well. But for what it is, works pretty good for me. So I'm going to cut these off. Now I will be gluing these in. I think there's typically 8 per bush. All right. So, and I can, see the good thing about this is I can always cut it down right here too and make 2 pieces out of it if I don't necessarily want, because like look at that, that's pretty big, right? That's pretty big, but that works okay. You know what though, I'm gonna cut that off because that was just a little much. That was just a little too big, a little too big. All right. All right. There we go. Actually, that didn't really catch very well. Let me try that again. There. There, now that's in there. Let me glue stick in. Okay, good. All right, now let's see. So I've got a little other tiny one. I'm going to put my tiny ones over on the side. Let's see where else we want one. Probably in here. So cut that off. I don't have a glue pot. I probably should. Some people have like a glue skillet. I did, but I tend to, I don't know, I put too much on there and then I burn myself. So for me, this is how it works. But if you have a glue pot, glue skillet, it probably saves you time. Then that's awesome. Now this one kind of, I'm going to show you what I do. If this is kind of like, I want it to stay, but it's not staying, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, I will add just a tiny little dab of glue to the back of the ribbon, just a teeny tiny, preferably on like a color that you're not going to really see. Put a little bit, and then kind of just press it up into the mesh just a little bit. On occasion, I don't typically like to do this, but if there's just a situation where it's just not wanting to stay and I want it to stay, there, better. All right. Oh, where else are we going to put this white stuff? Let's start up at the top. All right. Got a little coming out from there. Oh, hey, there's 2 together. That's where the other one went. I was wondering. And I do have some little small pieces, but I think there we go. Just where I feel like it really needs to be. Especially to kind of cover some of that green, because there's a lot of green. So now we're going to come down to the bottom here and add a little bit under here. This is a nice longer stem, so this will hold really well. There we go. I think we had another one under here we're going to go with. Nice. Yeah, might need a longer one in the middle. I'll wait on that. I'm gonna sit down for a second, guys. My back's killing me. My back's killing me. All right. All right, moving around this way. I've got a lot of this, fortunately, so this is a nice filler. All right. I'm going to put this around the outside. I want to be able to see some green sticking out from like right here. Oops. There we go. I'm adjusting my tails here just for a second. There we go. Now I can see those better. It's a little fluffing. Okay, I want to go back there with a little bit, so let's take some of this off. All right, there. Pokes a little bit in there. I'm gonna cut my other bush. 1, 2. I already cut some off of this. So this one only has 7, but that's all right. I think that's more than enough. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now this one I think I'm gonna put in tall because I want this one to come up a little bit higher. Oops, get in there. Come on. There. Nice. All right. Now we'll do a little bit up there. Cut some of that off. I like to add the greenery in, then like I put the florals in as kind of like the last detail. Oh, there we go. Ooh, it's hot, hot. Ooh. There. Just wanted to poke through a little bit. I did drop a little bit of glue on the ribbon, but it was on the back side and it just came all the way off onto my finger, but that's all right. We suffer for our art, do we not? Okay. See another spot. I want to go. Come on. There we go. Da, da, da. This is the part where I'm doing it where I get kind of quiet because I'm trying to focus, but there we go. I'm going to put a little tiny piece right in there if it'll stay. There. Just a little bit hanging out there. Really wish I could get, here we go. That's going to fill that in better. Pulling down some of that pink mesh. There. Oh, that looks so much better. Much better. Much better. Cool. All right. Hopefully you guys can still see okay. I know I'm sticking my head in there and you guys are like, I don't want to see your head. I'm sorry. You're stuck with my head. All right. So I mean, we've got some white in here. Let's see if I can find. I'm trying to put some in the bow. It's like a little touch, but I think this one might be. Maybe keep it in too. Okay, I'm going to put this one in. Just a little tiny bit of glue. I don't want to get too much glue on the bow, but I'm sliding it kind of right in, I guess, the center of the bow. It's just got a little touch in there, which is nice. Just a little touch. That's too much. No, that's too big. Here we go. Filling it all in nicely. Now is the time of day where I start daydreaming about what I'm doing for dinner, and I'm really hungry right now. All right. Just wanted a little tiny bit poking through here. Okay. Always want to make sure. Got that in there. I feel like I want a little bit more up on top. So that's where I'm going to put my last big tall piece. Then I do have other little ones. I actually use these little tiny pieces in like some smaller arrangements or center bows, so I save all those. All right. Super cute. Okay, I'm going to put all the white to the side. Ooh, get rid of some of this too. Hold on. Quick cleanup. This is a teeny tiny little handheld battery operated vacuum, and it gets all these little tiny pieces. It's fantastic. I got this on Amazon. It's linked in my Amazon store, but it is the handy dandiest. I also have another one over where I take my pictures. And that way when little tiny pieces shed or whatnot, it gets it right away. So, all right, so now here's our florals that we're going to use. Again, I believe these came from, I probably ordered these from Craft Outlet. So that's where these came from. Push up the stems and the florals before I go cutting it off. And I can always slide these, I can slide the leaves off if I don't want them, but I just want to make sure that they're up high enough that they don't fall off. I'm going to trim these out. I know, probably, sometimes people just trim one by one to see what they want, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to use the whole thing, so. All right. Just going to start adding them throughout. I'm going to try to use these to fill in anywhere that I feel like there might be a little bit of a gap. Make sure that didn't poke through on the back end. There we go. All right, that's in there, that's secure. So I did a pink, maybe see where I can put a white one maybe. And I think I'm gonna put it right in here. Kind of just like when you're doing with the grapevine. Make sure you don't want it to go poking through the back of the wreath, but you know, if it does, then you can just kind of go through and trim it off afterward. And I don't want to push this in there too far either. But there, that feels like a natural spot for it. Ooh, see there's two different pinks. One is lighter, one is darker. So I'm going to kind of go with one of the brighter pinks. I think maybe kind of back there. Let me see what I can get. Nice. All right. That went in there really well. How about over here, I think? Get a little floral going in there. I think I can trim a little bit off the stem. And here's where I said before about trying not to be too symmetrical. I'm trying really hard not to be too symmetrical. There we go. I'm going to go with a lighter pink underneath here. There we go. Nice. I do want to have some floral coming out from under the bottom here. So I'm going to kind of bend it a little bit so it kind of comes out. See that a little bit? Just tuck this in here, under there. Make sure it's grabbing something. Here, I want to make sure it's really in there grabbing something. I don't feel like that one was super, super secure. All right. I'm going over this way. Probably want some pink. Yeah, I think so. It's awfully long though. Let me trim it. Notice I'm not putting in too many flowers. I want like a touch of floral, but not like too much. There we go. Ooh, actually having that kind of poke in through the bow a little bit. I like that. I like that a lot. Nice. Okay. I see two more spots. I want to do a pink here and then a white down there. Or I guess it's cream color technically. It is cream. And then that ought to do it. All right. Okay. All right. I think that does it. I think our camper wreath is done. Are we there yet? Yes, I think we are. Huh. Sorry, that wasn't even funny. All right. So here we go. This is our happy camper wreath. This is made on a 24-inch evergreen wreath. That was a Christmas wreath. If you can't find these, check Goodwill, because a lot of people clean out their garages and stuff during the summer, and you might be able to find some that are in really good shape or even new with tags. Just make sure that they're not like super used and old so that like they're not falling apart, right? We don't want to do that. But that's a good spot to shop for those. So that's on a 24-inch one. This is used 2 rolls of 10-inch mesh. Cut at 18 inches a piece, made into ruffles. I use the whole roll of both. Then this happy camper sign, which you can get at places like Craft Outlet. The same with the ribbons here. The florals were, I believe, Craft Outlet, and then the white astilbe came from At Home Store. And then our cute little light up camper, which I didn't even know lights up, came from Target. And I just bought this fairly recently, so they probably still have some of those there. So I want to say thank you so much for joining me on today, a holiday of all days, to have you guys spending your time with me. I'm very touched and I hope this was fun. And I hope this inspires you to kick off a really cool, fun summer of crafting. All right. Thank you so much. This will be listed for sale at sweetariadecor.com within the next day or so. I've got lots of stuff out there. Currently have a 15% off sale running. And I also have items at Painted Tree in Naperville, Illinois. And you can catch a replay of this and all my other videos. I've got a whole slew of videos on my YouTube channel for Sweet Aria Decor. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Memorial Day and happy summer, guys. Thanks. Bye-bye.